So I was cut off in the other one. So 1 Samuel 17:47. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. So he's saying, your weapons that you're so proud of, right, is not what saves you. It is the spirit that you're in. Okay, all those that watch will know that sparring is a valid challenge, because spirit is the spirit that you're in. When you face somebody and you strike them and you're facing them, right, you feel a certain type of way. You're in a certain energy. Okay, and if you're inspired by the Lord Almighty, if the Lord is in your energy, it is spirit sparring. If you're using the chi, it is the chi energy sparring. So chi can mean C high, right? Malachi, male A, chi, male alpha C high, where the Spirit of God comes into the earth energy. Or it can simply mean your belly, right? Your lower energy, right? Your stomach. We can go on and on about the Tantien and all these words that are used, why the belt is on the stomach versus on the heart, which symbolizes the Spirit of God. The sash on the heart in Revelations 1:13 or something, where Jesus has a golden sash on his heart. Okay, so it's not by sword or spear that he saves. Just like when Jesus said he came to bring a sword, he's not contradicting what I'm saying. He came to bring the spirit that allows the sparrer and the warrior to conquer. That's why it's a sword. It's the spirit that allows the warrior to conquer. And when you're in the true spirit of God and you're speaking a certain way, it's the sword of the mouth, right? It's the double-edged sword of Scripture, okay? It's not saying the warrior is insignificant. It's saying the spirit that the warrior connected to is being used this way. Now that there's so much armor on the battlefield and warfare becomes so unnatural that you can use that same spirit a different way to achieve victory. And true victory is transcend, overcome, to climb across, to conquer this world. Put yourself above it. Just like I said in the last video, the true hero, right? The true man wants to impress, right? When he's looking for love, that is, he wants to impress the female, the ideal female, who is a selfless, obedient. She has the martial art principles that I went over at the end of the last video. She's a selfless, obedient, okay, moral martial art hero, okay, that's willing to put God first. Okay, every other female is like a little girl that never grew up. It's like every other man, with all due respect, it's hardly called a man, is a little boy that never grew up. They're not selfless warrior hero. They don't have a single one of these martial art principles in its truest form. They're not a true hero. They don't have true insight, or they'd be obeying me. They don't have true determination. Being determined to be another conformist to live is not true determination. Being determined to fight for a nation instead of God is not true determination. You see how it's all lesser. Unless you have the highest cause, all these principles are inferior. They're useless. Why bother? That's like playing Barbie dolls and saying, I'm determined to have this Barbie win this bitch fight when I'm playing Barbie dolls. It's not the same thing. So all these principles that have to do with being a man, virtue, valor, is where it means masculine, it means manhood, virility. Okay, they all die with me, and everyone else is dishonest, even honesty. Because if they're honest, they know their life is an ill-gotten gain. True honesty means the acceptance that you shouldn't be living, and it's disgraceful just to live. So no matter what they say, they're also dishonest. Okay, so people are automatically insane. They're living a lie, which is disassociating with reality, which is being delusional. Okay? Very simple. There's no sanity. There's no honesty. There's no martial art principles after I die. So now this is about book 5. Okay? The Golden Whore. If I remember, I'll put at the end of this thing, and it's hard to do it because there's memory on the phone I have to consider, and it takes up memory to copy over and do this and that and so on and so forth. But I'll put the face things. Horror means face. It's not the whore face, horus. That's how the Greeks were a bunch of sexually immoral orgy people. Then there was these African martial artists. Then there was a bunch of immoral people in Canaan next to Egypt, right? There was moral people in Babylon, moral people all over. Then there's this martial art order. Not all Africans were part of the martial art order. This martial art order, okay, migrated toward the heart of Africa, Biafra, B of Ra. They wanted to make Ifra, bisexual, and these guys were, no, we're the true masculine spirit of God. We're not with this kind of gay spirit. Nothing's funny. There's no reason to be a reveler. That's that gay energy. That's like, oh, Disneyland. Even if people aren't gay, they're in that gay energy. Okay? Gaia, Gaia versus the Father, right? The pure masculine symbol, the Son, the potent source of the Son, the essence, the essence, the potent pure source of this pure masculinity, true masculinity, right? The true spirit of masculinity. Okay. So book 5, Golden Horror and Face. Of course, the face of God. You'll see if I remember to put it at the end. Saving face is a bad idea. One should accept criticism for one's mistakes. Saving face in that matter. Survival can be the greatest mistake of all. Our new world is the greatest mistake of all. Haru was never born anew. Anything but a light temple, no ill-gotten gains order is a mistake. Anything but the divine martial art order, this pure masculine spirit, African martial art or hero order that ends with me. It's a universal order. We're all Africans. People just spread out. The alpha of all mankind still came from Africa, and he'd want to stay by the source. And when he clashed with these other groups, he wanted to go to the heart of Africa, the heart of the matter. Horus is a deity of a lot of things. Law, sky law, divine law, not the law of this world, which contradicts it quite often. He's a deity of truth, of honor, of restoring the divine order first and foremost. Okay, he's also a deity of fertile soil. So the desert, Set, he'd want to go somewhere fertile. He'd want to go to the heart. He's surrounded by sea people and enemies from the Middle East, these Syrians, the Babylonians. All these guys invaded Egypt. The sea people, these guys for generations were the enemies of Egypt. The Libyan desert, right? The desert separates Egypt. It's the desert people. It's the sea people. It's the immoral Babylonians. It's the Nubians. He had to go southwest to the heart of Africa, Biafra, we're the most populated country in Africa. That by itself is telltale. And in this pressure cooker martial art kind of challenge event with a bunch of brutes, emerges this guy who can outmaneuver the brute and strike him down. When the small guy who can't maneuver that well is grabbed by the neck by the brute and his head is crushed. Okay, that's part of what the Narmer palette symbolizes. It says, hey, even if I wasn't a Skywalker, I could have grabbed this guy by the hair and smashed his head because he can't outmaneuver me. But the sky walking, sky law king, Skywalker, sky law core. Horus is a deity of divine law. That wordplay is not made up by the West alone. The idea, at least, it is a true idea that's attached to the Skywalk core. Okay? Sky law core. Sky wall, right? You're damned to hell because you did not honor the Pharaoh. And it says, if the Pharaoh should come to harm, that the whole world order would collapse. If the bloodline of Pharaoh should be ended without him raising a successor, you raise the son. Ra, Harus, Ares, Haroares, right? Rise, Ares. It has to be raised by this guy, not by the E. The E is evil. Evil, fatty, goofy, sloppy, dummy, sissy, pussy, pansy. These guys are beta bitches. These guys are brutes, right? And so on and so forth. And there's some E words that go with the brute, fatty and biggie and so on and so forth. Anyway, so the big guy and the small guy who don't have the heart to obey God through me are bitches. So all that'll be left is bitches, and they'll have a lot of these bitch forms that overkill their bitch because there's a divine order. It's like Shaka Zulu times 10, and you have these guys like, look at me, it's a little Jiminy Cricket with all due respect. Some people in my family are short, but this has to be said. And you have the big guy. Some people in my family are big, has to be said. He's a big knuckle. He's an idiot. Fuck you doing? You're a waste of life. This Set is the play on words for shit. S-E-T-H. Scramble, the E replaced with the I. Shit. Seat. Tease. Okay? C-T. T is the feminine suffix. It's adding things to it. Okay. And Jesus was killed on a cross, symbolizing their bitch. They weren't man enough to listen to him. They were fixated on, they couldn't think past their dicks. And of course, Apep, the snake, the deity of chaos, which is associated with Set at some point, right, is representing the penis. The penis when outside of the divine order. This guy can't focus clearly, right? Not in this martial art manner. He might focus as a scientist, but so what? There's a lot of scientific sex cult ninnies, like the Masons and them. Anyway. All right, where was I? All right. Even in the Bible, they understand that sacrifice was superior to life. The Bible was not written by heroes or prophets. Again, by bisexual bull. By Bel, Jezebel, Tower of Babel. Okay, it's by Baal. It's by these guys, these bully guys with armor, unnatural. It takes more strength. Brutes. These guys weren't maneuvering. They're armor guys, relying on their shields and heavy shields and stabbing people with their Roman daggers. Okay, these guys were brutes. They were using brute force in combat, and they had brute force sex. Once your martial arts style includes your lifestyle, includes the kind of sex you have, martial, to order, to arrange. To them, it means to lead solicitously, sexually, right? In God, lead with the heart and the spirit, not the dick. The difference between the sash up here and the sash down there. And we can go on and on. Okay, martial, play on words for marital. Also play on words for material. Because to them, Mars, who rapes Rhea, okay, is where they get the word martial arts. It's the Western corruption of martial arts. I can go on and on and on. Anyway. All right, so even in the Bible, they understand that sacrifice was superior to life. The Bible is not written by heroes or prophets, but by people who put a special emphasis on surviving and controlling the rate. Generation, reproduction, raw prodiction, ratio, okay, rate, I-N, okay? They're controlling the generation, the reproductive cycle. They democratized the affair of power, the Roman Senate, with the American Senate, with Parliament, with and so on and so forth. The Wittengamot, a bunch of wizards, are where the Parliament is said to come from. Okay, so again, they're sages, they're mages. They put you in cages. They deal in ages instead of universal truths. They're bitches. Okay, they think they can read the stars as beta pussies, and they think that they're just idiots. They're Harry Potter bitch, and they're not worth explaining anymore. Anyway, the Bible is not written by heroes or prophets, but by people who put a special emphasis on surviving. In trying to save the idea of Haru, they killed it. But even worse, the truth of the Spirit and saving it in their manner, or their beta manner. But even worse, the truth of the Spirit. I choose to die in combat for the Lord one way or another, right? Reading scripture, depending on, if gang members attack me or something, one way or another, because of what I'm doing, everyone's against me and they want to kill me like Jesus, like when the Jews tried to push him off the cliff, like when they got him crucified, and so on and so forth. I choose to die in combat in this manner for the Lord, for truth and not to save face. All the wars and the lies have come as a result of trying to save face, trying to look good. Image, I, mage, game, gay, quote unquote me. Obviously, I'm not gay, but that's part of the phonetics and the wordplay on game. Okay, image is part of the word play on game, right? Game is scrambled as mage, right? These are the sages. They could write. They wrote the Bible long before the most people could read. Okay, and they wrote in their symbolic symbolism, their occult hidden message. They wrote in their mage, sage, bitch into the Bible. It's by Baal, by the Babylonian, Sumerian, Canaanite sages of Baal who migrated to Greece. It's mainstream history, if you really put things together in a very basic way, a very honest way. Okay, so I went over this. All the wars, okay, I went over that. Drugged and cheated, the enemies of God tried to impress on me, using science, the idea that I should save face as they sabotaged me and did soul-killing things, especially because females refuse to look into the true soul of a man and date with courage. Right? They're impressing all these females who don't have the heart to date a true hero. They're harlots not worth dating. So both sides, the men are brutes not worth dating, who don't have the heart to obey God, the divine order. They're proud, they're racist, they have other despicable cultural barriers. And the women are these harlots that don't have the heart to be the divine woman. Should we take away from the divine woman so harlots can look good, so harlots can save face? That's one very obvious example of why saving face is wrong, and why democratizing the Pharaoh's power is wrong, and why democratizing the divine woman's respect is wrong. And of course, she dies with me because she can't be born. No bad tree can bear good fruit. Okay, anyway. Are you the Eldor, right? Horus the Eldor, the god door. Horus, son of Ra, right? Jacob's ladder, the way out of here. Transcend, to climb across, to climb a ladder. You need to obey the true DNA, the true African martial art alpha order, sun temple, so to speak, right? Malachi, the sun is the bridegroom in Psalms, and so on and so forth. All right. What would a martial arts son of God do? The whites, Jews, and the Asians, most of all, never learned the martial art lessons of life. Why? Because they hijacked martial arts and refused to obey me. Who knows less about what martial arts is about than the people that hijack and refuse to obey? Okay, they should know better. Okay, if you're looking into it, you should know better. He who knows better will be beaten. He who doesn't know will be beaten with fewer blows. He who knows, who's looked into it, will be beaten with more blows. It's like you tell the servant he knows your orders and he doesn't do it. You beat the fucking shit out of him. You beat the shit out of him. Okay? Something is somewhat obvious and the person didn't quite know, you beat him with less blows. And so it is in the spiritual realm with these traitor ideas. And of course, I'm referring to the martial art guys among them. Okay? They only listen to blacks and the corporate guys. They only listen to blacks and Semites that tried to save face. I used to ask my viewers, why would God choose someone who is out of touch, disloyal, and not a great warrior on a great mission like David in the Bible, so to speak, to be a prophet? He would not. Neither would he help people to save face. And we see it with Hinduism. The sages replaced the warrior structure. We see all over the world. This is the pattern of treachery. Trade route sage bitch, helped a bunch of trade route bitches look good and killed off the honorable warriors. I cannot help them either. The question is never what would Jesus do. It is what would God in his martial arts warrior spirit do, because Jesus is misleading as an idea. The disobedience that man has displayed is complete, and the sun gate will close, so saith the Lord.